Hey there everybody and welcome back. I'm your host Joshua Ryan. I've just finished watching WandaVision episode 5, and if you haven't seen it, here's your warning, you might want to click away. We are going to be talking about some major spoilers here. Now if you have seen it, hopefully you are still here watching and ready to talk about it with us in the comments, because there is a lot to talk about in this episode.
What are we looking at here? Is it an alternate reality, time travel?
So now in the first 4 episodes, which had already been on Disney+, we know that the first 3 episodes leaned heavily into that classic television sitcom themes. We got the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And then episode 4 took us outside of that. It was a much different episode that focused outside of Westview, outside of this imaginary sitcom world that Wanda had created for her and her family, and it followed members of SWORD and the FBI trying to figure out the mystery of why this was happening, how this was happening, and trying to communicate with the people inside, primarily trying to communicate with Wanda, which we heard on the radio in episode 2. It explained the mystery of the colored drone and the beekeeper coming out of the sewer. It explained how those happened, how the people outside trying to interact with Wanda inside created those mysteries that didn't seem to make any sense in the first few episodes. And it really tied up some things in a nice way that made some sense, while still keeping the mystery of what is going to happen completely dark, like we don't know. Now recently, Elizabeth Olsen had an interview and she said that there was going to be a huge cameo coming up. Like somebody that would be shocking and exciting fans. And a cameo that she said was similar to or equal to Luke Skywalker appearing in that amazing finale of Season 2, The Mandalorian. Now that is big shoes to fill. That's a pretty big comparison, and that has had fans really wondering and getting online and speculating about who this cameo could be. Well, it looks like we found out in episode 5. So again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, because we're going to be talking about it. A lot of fans were saying it could be Magneto. Was it going to be Wolverine? Most fans were leaning towards it being an X-Man and her using her powers to bring in the X-Men and mutants into the MCU. Now I'm here to tell you that a few weeks back, long before this announcement even came up, Fandom Wire said that Quicksilver from X-Men, from Fox's X-Men universe, was going to be in WandaVision. And a lot of fans were doubtful. They said, no, that's not going to happen. You're wrong. You're out of your mind. Well, I'm here to tell you, we were right. You should have listened to us. Why would you doubt us? Because he showed up. Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men franchise in Days of Future Past, the fan favorite Quicksilver, shows up at the end of episode 5. He knocks on the door, Wanda opens it, and she is shocked to see him there. And we know that he is there playing Quicksilver because for one, he has the classic, grayed out silvered hair, but then on the outside, Kat Dennings, then watching it, she says, did she just recast Pietro? Meaning this is Pietro. So we have that confirmation. This is Pietro, but it is not the Pietro from the MCU. It is not the Pietro who died in Age of Ultron. Now this is huge because not only is it really cool cameo, not only is it fun to get Quicksilver back, but this means the multiverse has entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we all knew this was coming, right? We have been reporting on it for months here at Fandom Wire. The fans know it's coming with Spider-Man, with Doctor Strange, the title, in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So it's not a surprise that the multiverse is coming, but it's kind of surprising that it's here so quick. I didn't expect it to be introduced in episode 5 of WandaVision, but that's really what this has to mean, because this is Pietro Quicksilver from X-Men, who is not a part of the MCU, so that has to mean multiverse. And what does that mean for the future, okay? Are we going to get any X-Men from Fox's franchise, any other X-Men coming over? I don't know, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with it, if they are going to use this to introduce mutants into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, Disney bought Fox. They have the rights. They can put the X-Men in anytime they want. That's why we're getting Fantastic Four coming out soon. And it makes sense because we know that this show is going to lead straight into Spider-Man 3, which is supposed to be a Spider-Verse. We know it's going to lead also directly into Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2, so it makes sense that we're getting the multiverse here and that Scarlet Witch is going to be be responsible for it. Now, she's also going to have to be responsible, I would imagine, for trying to undo what she does, right? And play some course correcting here, because I imagine things are going to go wild and out of control very quickly now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, all right? Were you guys excited for this? Is this who you thought the cameo was going to be? Were you hoping it was somebody else? Or do you think we will get another large cameo this show? All right, talk about it in the comments. I'm loving the show. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you guys next time.